Hello, welcome back to episode 64 of No Holds Barred Pod. That is Sal Dodgson still.
And that is Don McGowan still. Welcome
Hello.
back, one and all.
Welcome.
Oh, we've got some fun topics, haven't we?
Yeah. I was just going to say before we crack on, like as we've been doing recently, we're sort of recording 2 in a row, so 2 separate episodes, but we're doing sort of back to back for us. But yeah, no, see, totally forgotten what I was going to say now. So yeah, welcome back.
Good job, you're an excellent editor.
I know. I don't even bother editing stuff like this now because I think it's part of our charm that we're both brains go switch off sometimes in the middle of a sentence. But yeah, I was just going to say, because we didn't say it in the last one, don't forget you can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/No Holds Barred Pod for episodes a day early and our weekly chat with our community, which is just a little catch up. Sal hosted last night because I was a bit laid up with my back, but yeah, we do that every week, so get us on Patreon if you want to join in with that fun, and otherwise just follow us everywhere else.
Always have a laugh.
Yeah, we do. We try to anyway. We even had a laugh in our Epstein Files special, which was quite hard to do, but we did manage it.
We do. Usually by being a bit neurodivergent.
Anyway, so let's... Yeah, exactly. So we're going to crack on with this episode. Are you going to kick us off with some Labour shenanigans?
Well, I don't know where to start, really. I'll do the thing I didn't mention that I found out about the other week because it's... Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you the nuts and bolts and then you can tell me what you think.
Yep.
So this is mainly for the listeners, viewers' benefit because I sent it to you immediately and went, ah! But as some of the long-term listeners will know, I have an SEN son who we're struggling a bit to find his feet. Post-college and what have you, getting a job is not easy for the best of people. And my son has some struggles. And I happened upon this Reels on Instagram, I think it was. Facebook, I don't know. That a friend of mine had posted, and it was of the local college, and it was about internships for SEN kids. And I immediately went, oh, brilliant, what's this?
Exciting.
Switched the video on. And it was a sort of self-done video by the SEN group at the local college, and it was telling Matthew's story about how he'd been through college and he's essentially now in sixth form and he wants to get out there and get a job and find work and stuff, and these internships are brilliant and they're really helpful towards him. And then we followed Matthew to work, and Matthew's job was at Amazon. And that was when I went, oh, they said internships, not apprenticeships. I don't think I like this very much.
Yeah.
So I went and did a little bit of research. And just off the top of Google, it tells me that supported internships in the UK are structured, unpaid, work-based study programmes for young people aged 16 to 24 with SEND and an educational health and care plan. Lasting 6 to 12 months, they include on-the-job training, job coaching and personalised learning aimed at securing paid employment. 6 to 12 months? Unpaid!
Unpaid, yeah, that's the key.
So I thought, who are these employers if they're not just Amazon? Because it can't just be Amazon.
No.
So I asked the AI, and the AI very helpfully tells me key employers and partners: Morrison's, Five Guys, Nando's, The Entertainer, Black Sheep Coffee, Sam Brooks Brewery, Decathlon, Green King, Transport for London, Heathrow Airport, Every, Wincanton, various local councils, Liverpool City Council, that's local to us, I suppose, Lancashire County Council, NHS trusts and hospitals, including Wokingham Community Hospital and Reading Hospital, Amazon Fulfilment Centres, Sodexo PLC, Kia, Mighty Foundation, BNP Paribas Real Estate, Sanctuary Care, the Savini Group.
Mhm.
Now, off the top of my head, 95% of them are venture capital, big business.
Yeah, a lot of them are, without a doubt.
And they're getting free labour.
Yeah, that's the
from
problem, isn't it?
disabled kids with learning
Mhm.
difficulties, who once they are trained, it might take them longer, but once
Yeah.
they are trained, do just as good a job as anybody else.
Of course, absolutely, without a doubt. Yeah.
Or is the government now telling disabled people that they should be grateful just to have somebody to host them? Because that's what that
Yeah.
is.
That's what it seems like, doesn't it?
And this bit isn't where it's going to end for me, because I need to speak to people. I want to go and speak to Scope and stuff and see what
Yeah.
because they're supposed to be
view on
backing
it.
it, so I should have read that out.
It's just glorified work experience, isn't it?
Supported internship providers at the Shaw Trust MENCAP, Choices College, formerly Project Choice, Ways into Work, and local colleges, such as St Helens College and Hugh Bird. That's exploitation, is it not? Am I losing my mind?
No, it feels like it. It's glorified work experience, but it's free labor for these people. Because on the face of it, the companies you read out, you probably do all right if they were genuine apprenticeships or routes to work, but they're not.
Yeah, but they're not.
No, they're not. That's a scam, and that's a really dark kind of.
It's insidious.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really
so
not very pleasant
I need to
thought.
be doing something with that, because it's makes me so angry.
Yeah, because it does seem all glossy and shiny on the surface. Oh yeah, you could get an internship with I don't know, whatever, Green King pubs. You know, great. You want to be a bar manager, whatever. I did that for years. It's good fun. But if you're doing it for free, and then there's no job at the end of it, that's not.
If those kids have got to work for free, they should be able to choose which charity they go and work for.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
If you're going to force them to be volunteers, why aren't they working for the good? Why are they working for the bad?
Yeah, the VCs and the hedge funds.
It makes you want to smash a wall.
That's really depressing, isn't it? It's really sad that's the.
But then it's the
state of offer.
Was it Mims Davis? It was Mims somebody that stood up in the House of Commons a couple of years ago and suggested that they'd pay disabled people less.
Oh, probably.
And she was rightly railed for it at the time. But this is worse than that, because they're not getting paid at all.
No, pay them nothing. Yeah, exactly. No, that's really shitty. It's really shitty. Yeah, let's do some more reading and research on that, see if we can talk to some people about it, because it's just...
I want to blow that out the water if I can.
It's exploitation of kids who are already struggling in the first place, trying to find a job in a workplace which is diminishing, and then they've got their own issues.
It's dehumanising.
The government are just basically taking advantage of them, and these hedge funds are taking advantage of them via the government, which is not acceptable, is it? So, no. Absolute bullshit. Yeah, definitely. So,
have you got anything cheery?
Farage was Farage was rolling around East London yesterday in a tank with Derek Chisora.
Oh,
did you see that?
Do me no, what I saw was Derek Chisora and Nigel Farage in a tank when nobody else was.
Yes. And
I didn't mind that.
I said there was upwards of 3 people watching them.
Oh, well, there was a person recording it.
Yeah. That's about, and I think they drove past one person. They must have been ruining the roads as well. Like, the roads aren't good in the first place. Drive a fucking tank round East London. But he will jump on anything, literally jump on anything to get a photograph, that man. And yesterday it was a fucking tank.
With the best will in the world, who is Derek Chisora? I mean, I know who he is. He's a has-been boxer that never quite made it because he's dog shit.
With a conviction for wife beating as well.
That too.
Another one. But
he was controversial like 10 years ago once.
Yeah.
How is he still even a thing? Oh, because he's a black man and Reform like to embrace right-wing coloured people.
Exactly that. I think it's a sort of self-perpetuating kind of.
Look, I've got a black friend. I'm not a racist.
Exactly. So the Chizora's hanging on his coattails, and Farage is doing exactly that with him because he's like, "Oh yeah, we're not racist.
Good, let them sing together."
Honest, Gov, we're not racist. We might use Nazi tactics, but we're not racist. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Ryan Bridge thing. That's funny.
Oh, good old Ryan Bridge. What a dickhead. So we've talked about him in the past. Ryan Bridge is one of the co-leader, as it were, of Raise the Colours, the people responsible for putting up flags everywhere.
He's solo now, haven't they broken up?
There's been some friction, definitely, between him and Elliot Stanley and Danny Tomo. And there's two separate Raise the Colours entities have split. Danny Tomo's taken one. Ryan Bridge has got...
They're multiplying.
Yeah, like gremlins. They fed them after midnight. Yeah. Don't get them wet. Actually, Ryan Bridge's hair could be a gremlin, couldn't it? But yeah, so he's been doing his thing around Oxfordshire, particularly around the Abingdon area over the last couple of weeks. And he's been told repeatedly by the council to stop doing this. But he kept, because he's a twat, he kept going. And on Thursday night, I think it was, wasn't it? I got a message from the Birmingham anti-fascist group that I'm now partly, who I'm quite well in touch with. And one of them sent me a DM, said, "Have you seen Ryan Bridge has been nicked?" I said, "What?" "No, send me the link, please, immediately." So she sent me the link to the Facebook where they were streaming. And luckily for me that they recorded the entire stream from start to finish. So yeah, Ryan Bridge got nicked because there was a lady protester went under his cherry picker, refused to come out, and then the police came to try and resolve the situation. And Ryan Bridge, like the entitled dickhead that he is, decided to, I don't know, what was he saying? "We're live here on the floor." He was one of his quotes.
That's my favourite quote. That I was crying for 2 days off the back.
He was under the van with the phone, like going, "We're live here with his weird
on the floor."
With his squeaky voice.
Oh, no,
like,
no, it wasn't. It was, "We're coming to you live here on the floor." Officer, we need a negotiator.
That was it. He said, "There's only 15 coppers here. We need more coppers. We need to close the road off, and we need a negotiator." I was like, "Who the fuck are you, Samuel L. Jackson?" Like, it's insane the levels of entitlement he thinks he has. But anyway, the woman said, "I'm protesting legally. I'm not going to speak to anyone until you get rid of him, Bridge." The police, he wouldn't leave. The police officer kept saying, "I'm going to nick you for obstruction if you don't get out of the way now. Come on, out." Wouldn't go, so they were right, "You're under arrest." So they shoved him up against the van, which was a delicious picture. There was a snapshot went round of him with his little face squashed up against the van.
Getting cross because his men had the camera the wrong way around.
Well, that was what I was going to say, but the Schadenfreude around the country kind of nearly broke, like, watching this guy get nicked. But then, yeah, so he passed his phone over to one of his mates, and his mate's just doing himself a selfie, going, and you can hear Bridge in the background go, "Turn the camera around, Darren, turn the camera around." And he's going, "Huh?" And then he turned it round, he put his fingers across it. "Mind your fingers, Darren, he's got your fingers over it." Because that was when Bridge was being perp-walked by the police along the street, and obviously not one to miss a photo opportunity despite being nicked. It was like a comedy of errors, but it ended up with a very satisfying slam of the door when Bridge went in. And then Darren, I think his name was Darren, I might be making that up, the guy who was filming with his fingers across the lens, "Free Ryan!" he shouted at the end. I'm like, oh my God. I just like proper. It was funny. It was really, really funny, and he got everything. But he was banged up for 18 hours. Actually, it turned out, because it wasn't just obstruction. He wasn't arrested just for obstruction. He was actually arrested for inciting racial hatred and what was it? Racial. There it is, for aggravated take a run up. For aggravated racial and religious hatred he was nicked for. So it's proper serious now.
Against the French fella?
I don't know what I need to dig into a bit more of the details of the arrest.
I know. I saw a couple of clips of him lately. He's just basically, it's like being verbally assaulted by a 12-year-old. He's so adolescent.
With an 85-year-old lady's hair.
No, I didn't see that. This guy was, I don't know, maybe in his 60s.
No, Bridges'
and I
hair.
didn't even hear him speak. Oh, yeah. And he was just like, all right, Froggy. And like kept throwing French insults at him. He's just like...
Yeah. But that was the thing on the video as well. Like when it started off, he was like, I just want to help her out. You know, she's having a breakdown.
Oh, he's horrible. He was horrible.
He was so patronizing, wasn't he? He's like, don't worry, love, you're going to be all right and all this. And then they pulled him out from under the back.
We need to get you to the asylum.
Yeah, that's when he started being a twat. And he was like, oh, lefty,
he never
liberal. Well, no, but yeah, that's true. He is a twat.
All of it was him just trying to poke the bear.
Prod.
That's all he does.
I know.
And then one day the bear will come and eat him, and I'm here for it.
Everyone's here for it. We'll live stream that if it happens.
But he's been banned from Oxfordshire, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, because aggravated racial and religious hatred—that's a serious crime. So that's prison time if it does go through as a proper charge. So,
it should do. God knows he's recorded himself doing enough of it.
Exactly,
like
I know.
Dick.
Twat. So that's a nice bit of jolly news to get out of the way, because he is one of the country's biggest bellends, bar none. I think he's right up there with the top of the top twats. Yeah. So
I wish they'd just extradite him to Spain, to be honest.
Yeah.
Got bigger charges there.
Yes, he has. Is it Mallorca or Malaga? No, Mallorca. It's the opposite. I think he's wanted. So chuck him to Spain. Let them deal with it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can't really segue that into lobbying, so I won't. So I just wanted to mention. I just wanted to mention a little article I saw about Steve Reed this week, who's featured on our podcast before because he's a fully paid up member of LFI, and boy, doesn't he prove it all the time. Yeah. He was reported to have gone to a dinner in October that was held by the YIMBY Initiative, which means Yes in My Backyard. It was a Labour YIMBY fundraiser. Held by the Yes Initiative group, I think it is, which is a public affairs lobbying firm for the construction industry.
Yes, of course it is.
And so he went to this dinner where tickets were available for £45 a head, but if you wanted to sit with an MP at your table, it was £2,000 a seat. Fundraising, that was the name of the game.
Yeah.
They had a curry night because, curry is such expensive cuisine. There were two developers present, Catesby Estates and Hallam Land. Both of them had live appeals under review, or have had since. I should be specific about that. Reed, it turns out, a month later after that dinner, he altered all the planning rules in November to give himself all the veto powers.
Shock horror. Bit of a sniff of Robert Jenrick there. Yeah.
Well, whilst there's nothing in and of itself wrong, it's a worry. Because they weren't the only developers present. There were other developers. That Wimpy was there, and Taylor Bradford, is it? Taylor Wimpy?
Yeah, something like
that. They all
that,
change all the time.
Yeah,
Loads of them were there. And this is how lobbying works. And there will be one of these dinners every fucking week for all the different... What's the word I'm looking for?
Industries?
Yes, industries, thank you.
Yeah.
And it needs to stop. Business needs to get out of politics. We can't... This is not how selling things should work in backroom handshakes. But it clearly is how they are working because we have all the evidence around us.
Yeah. Under the guise of fundraising and charities.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. I heard, I'm not sure which MP it was that did the media rounds in the week, and he was asked about this.
Sorry, live thought bubble.
Yeah.
What's to stop? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
What's
It's one of these.
What's to stop some unnamed, quiet, very wealthy businessman in foreign parts
Yeah.
setting up, sending crypto payments to a massive corporation in the UK who then use that money to... Do you see what I'm getting at? So what's the whole point?
Nothing's really there, yeah.
What's the point?
I know.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to piss on everybody's chips, but that does completely and utterly undermine what they did the other week in banning crypto donations. Because there are so many ways and means around it.
Yeah, I mentioned it about in a minute in Reform, but Nigel Farage announced earlier that he's going to start a podcast and bypass journalists now.
What?
I read between the lines, bypass Ofcom. He's sick of journalists, so he's going to start a Reform UK podcast instead of dealing with journalists. So he's just bypassing Ofcom.
That's absolutely fine.
Why?
Good. Can we shut down GB News now?
Yeah.
Why? Because it does. Because regardless of how big he might be at the minute and how many people know about him, podcasts aren't mainstream. Even the very most popular ones are not necessarily mainstream because they're not on your televisual box and they're not when you stick on your car radio. You have to actively choose to go and want to find them, as we know. Please like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, while you're there.
So if he wants to go off and do a George Galloway, that's fine. Fuck off, do that.
It's just the specific. He specifically said to bypass journalists. I mean, it's just to dodge scrutiny, though. Again.
But it won't be dodging scrutiny because everyone can just clip him and stitch it and go,
yeah, maybe.
He's talking shit again. Not
I mean, he's always talking
else,
shit, isn't he, to be fair? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, but lobbying is a dark art, isn't it? It's horrible. I heard, as I was going to say, that one of the Labour MPs on the media was asked about that specific Steve Reed meeting. And he said, oh, don't worry, I know Steve. He would never take any bribes. That's literally what he said. Like, oh, all right, that's all right then, mate. We believe you. Fine, no worries. Forget it then. It's like, what? But
trust me, bro vibes, innit?
Yeah,
that's what got us here.
Yeah, exactly. And what's still happening, unfortunately. So not good.
Yeah, so that's
good.
One of two done.
At all. Yeah.
Just because I have them. Can I just carry on with the other Labour MP and then?
Yeah, do that, and then we'll finish with Reform this week.
Yeah, it's a brief one that I just caught. There's an MP called Peter Princely who is the MP for Bury St Edmunds and Stowmarket, former ENT consultant.
How is he?
Lifelong, yeah. The guy's, I think he's 63 now.
Oh, is he?
But yeah.
His name, to me, when you said it earlier, I hadn't heard of him, and I was thinking like he's like a Prince Charming, like a character out of a fairy tale, and he's like a 63-year-old doctor. Okay, fine.
I mean, he's 2024 intake, which should be paid attention to, all things considered. But he concealed 2 all-expenses-paid trips to Israel. Concealed them. Last year, he said it was an admin error.
Of course it was.
This year, I can't remember what his excuse was. His defence this year, I think, he just said he was asked to go and I just do what I'm told. What?
By whom? Yeah, exactly.
That much wasn't in the article.
Isn't that what Priti Patel got sacked for? Exactly doing that. Yeah.
He went, he had pictures taken with Herzog.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
It wasn't exactly a quiet, under the radar trip. And he's refused to. So we're infected. We're still infected by these terrible fucking people.
Oh, mad.
And we need to vote them out urgently.
How's he concealing it? Like he's just by saying, forgetting in inverted commas to declare it as a
Well, he just didn't declare them.
Oh, that's just shoddy behaviour. That's horrendous. That is exactly what Priti Patel got done for and booted out by Theresa May, wasn't it? Starmer should do the same.
He
He
should.
won't. He won't. Yeah, exactly. He should.
I do feel that
Yeah,
I just
weird.
need to add, for the purposes of everybody listening and trying balance, a lot of the changes to employment went live this week, and I wanted to cover them, but I just haven't had time to go and do the research. So I do want to do a positive Labour story, which I will do next week, I promise.
Yeah. There is some good stuff
'Cause,
happened in the last week or two as well. Yeah, I concur. And I would like to talk about the rental market as well, which the housing market, which is going to change. Well, the renters reform bill, which is a positive
See if
thing.
you can get Steve Reed on.
Yeah.
Jokes.
We haven't got a spare two grand in the no holds pod kitty, unfortunately. Not unless we
Do you know what I found out
seriously
this week?
go on.
Sorry, just it upsets me so because it reminds me of how long it is since I've worked. No more money for bank holidays now. When did that happen?
What, you don't get double time anymore? Or time
When
and
did
a
that
half or
law
whatever?
change?
Oh, I didn't even know that was... Oh, weird. I was talking about that this week, weirdly, thinking when I used to work in pubs and run pubs, and you'd have to pay my staff like double time on a bank holiday. That doesn't happen now, no?
Well, Boyo's working...
Yeah.
we had to work yesterday and he's working Monday.
But just standard time.
He gets a day in lieu.
Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, that's such a cop-out, days in lieu. Oh, that's rubbish. It was a good thing back in the day when you used to get double time. You'd volunteer to work on a bank holiday because you get a bit of extra cash. But, oh, that's shit if they've done away with that.
It must have been a while because I told my therapist and he went, yeah, and. I'm like, what do you mean, yeah, and?
Right. That's normal, is it? Fucking hell.
He's only a young man at snipper 42.
Oh, well,
but yeah, he employs people and that's how he'd know.
Yeah. Well,
so,
that's a shame. So, yeah.
Anyway, so that was that.
Cool. So let's wrap up this episode and this week with Reform, because they've been at it again, as they always are. Aside from Nigel Farage being on a tank with a washed up boxer.
Oh my God, sorry, genuinely yawned then, not you. It's the tedium of Reform.
All right, I'll hurry up. Quickly, right, Reform.
Oh God.
No, oh, you're all right.
Oh God. Conniption, sorry.
I think the biggest story of the week, really, oh no, not really, bar none, is I've forgotten his name. Simon Dudley. Simon Dudley was, up until Thursday, Reform UK's housing spokesperson. I'd never heard of him until Wednesday. Tuesday.
Didn't know they had one.
When an article for the iPaper, by Vicky Spratt went out, and he said some really, really horrendous things. He basically said about Grenfell, fires happen, people die. What are we going to do about it? That's literally what he said. And he said, extracting Grenfell from the statistics, actually people dying in house fires is rare, he said. Many, many more people die on the roads driving cars, but we're not making cars illegal, so why are we stopping houses being built? Right, hold on a minute. That's like saying, if we ignore the Holocaust, Hitler didn't kill that many people, really. Why don't we let the Nazis carry on as they are? It's just fucking mad. It's so mad.
I swear that's the mindset my parents, I grew up with.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
It's just... And I made that comparison with the Nazis on purpose, because what he said was so disgusting. And you know it's disgusting because Nigel Farage actually got rid of him. Well, I'll come to that in a second. He was forced... Yeah, exactly. So he was forced into... I wrote a long thing on Thursday about it, and I said, well, let's shift the dial. I said, probably not. I said, minimising tragedies, they've done that before. I said, probably Robert Jenrick will be out later to talk about taking 12p off someone's holiday in 2031 again. And lo and behold, at 11 a.m. that morning, Nigel Farage and Robert Jenrick popped up to do one of their ridiculous, interminable press conferences. And he told the press, first of all, that he had sacked Simon Dudley as housing spokesperson. What he didn't say, as you've just alluded to, is that he's removed him from Reform UK completely, because we don't think he has. I think he's still part of Reform in the background. He's just had his spokesperson role revoked for now. Go on. What were you going to say?
I did hear Farage being questioned on it yesterday, and I was quite surprised by his response, because his response was, "It's nothing to do with me. I'm not the leader anymore. That's Richard Tice's department. It's up to Richard Tice what he does. It's not my job anymore."
Mm. He chucked Richard Tice under the bus on that. Totally. He blamed Tice, and then so he sacked him by a press conference, blamed Richard Tice, threw him under the bus, and then he was asked about it again, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'll just apologise for everything that's happened in the last 200 years, then shall I?" And that was his response. It's like, it's fucking Grenfell.
Back to me
It's
parents.
one of the worst. Yeah, it's one of the worst tragedies this country has ever seen, without any question. And he's like, "Oh yeah,
one that should never have happened."
Well, of course, it should never have happened. Yeah, a preventable tragedy. But Farage was like, "Oh, I'll just apologise for everything, then, shall I?" He's like, "Well, fuck off."
How about you stop being a stroppy prepubescent adolescent? Can you be a prepubescent adolescent? I've never even considered that.
Yeah, you must be able to. Yeah,
let's say so. You know what I'm getting at. He's a brat.
It's just going to be. It's just, but the thing is, it's moved on already, and because Farage moves everything on so quickly, it's already now shuffled into the closet with his house in Clacton, Doge, all the racists.
That won't be not come May.
What, the Grenfell thing? Do you think it'll come out? They'll
fuck yeah,
start using it as a thing. Yeah, I hope so, because it deserves air, and it deserves them to be tied to it, because it was fucking rank. It was really horrible. So,
they're despicable, aren't they?
Yeah, but they really are. They really are. So there was that. And then I listened to the radio this morning, and it was, I often listen in early doors, and it's normally Nick Ferrari's slot, but Ian Dale was in for him this morning. And Ian Dale's like this. Yeah, exactly. He said, "After the break, we're going to have Robert Jenrick in to talk to us about blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, oh, great. Jenrick and Dale, what a combo. But I thought, I'll give it a listen. He started by welcoming Robert Jenrick in. "Oh, you're the only MP out on media this morning. Well done. You're so hardworking." It's like, yes, Good Friday. Everyone else is fucking just chilling out. Jenrick's still punting his lies. But Ian Dale just gave him a load of soft soap questions and let him talk pretty much uninterrupted for 10 minutes. Every Reform talking point that you can think of, Jenrick rattled through it without any challenge. He said, one of the things he said was that, let me just check. Yeah, he made an insane claim that 90% of our housing deficit is because of immigrants. 90%.
What? That's insane.
He said it twice. Ian Dale didn't even raise an eyebrow. Like, what?
Oh, for the love of God.
It's mad. And then Ian Dale said, "Oh, everybody says they're going to use welfare cuts to fund things. How are you going to do that?" Jenrick ignored it and just waffled on. He started saying about, "Oh, first of all, we're going to cut back on PIP claimants. Those with mild mental health issues won't be able to claim PIP." I was like,
people with mild mental health issues don't get PIP for mild mental health, you fucking dick.
But it's this repetitive bullshit, the lies they come out with. But it was just something that made me really annoyed was that he said, not annoyed, but just flabbergasted. He said that after saying that immigrants were to do with 90% or to the root of 90% of our housing deficit, he said, and those that came in during the Boris wave, and he started attacking immigrants during the Boris wave. Now,
that he was in government for?
Yeah, so I looked it up. Robert Jenrick was in government. The Boris wave that Farage, this came out, do you know the Boris wave came out of 4chan? It was a proper far right thing originally, and then
I'll be quite honest, I don't really know what the Boris wave means.
Well, I had to look it up as well. It's what Farage and the far right are accusing. So Farage was in the Daily Mail a few weeks ago saying Boris Johnson's government was elected on a promise to get Brexit done and secure the borders. Instead, they betrayed voters by opening them to 3.8 million migrants from the developing world between January 21 and June 24. So that's what they class as the Boris wave. Well, who was Minister of State for Immigration between 2022 and 2023?
You couldn't make it up.
Jenrick, Robert Bobbert Jenrick. It's just mad. He's literally going on radio saying, "Oh, those arseholes that let all those people in, they're so fucking terrible." And they're like, "Yeah, that was you, mate.
It was you."
Yeah, it was literally you. You let those people in that you're now shouting about. Of course, did it get challenged? No. Ian Dale just went, "Oh, okay, fine." And that was it. It's 10 minutes of unchallenged propaganda. It's just fucking not good enough. Not good. And I said at the end of my little thing that I wrote,
you've got a massive crionist on a crionist radio station, so.
Well, there is that. There is that. But, well, that aside, weirdly, earlier I'd written a thing on Twitter that Ian Dale was also promoting, do you know the Crewkern Gazette, this guy that makes AI videos of politicians?
I saw you tweet, but I'd not heard of it.
Well, he's got quite well known, but it turns out he's been in jail for racial hatred, specifically against Jewish people, which I thought was a bit odd, as you say, coming from LBC. He's been in jail for it. And Ian Dale was like, "Oh, the Crewkern Gazette will be on this quickly to make a nice, funny AI video." It's like, that guy's a fucking convicted racist, mate. But anyway, say what you like about Nick Ferrari. Nick Ferrari actually challenges people, and he will take people to task, and he does it with Farage as well. So, you know, it's one of the main reasons I sort of just about can manage to listen to Nick Ferrari is he will put up a fight sometimes. Ian Dale just like rolled over and let Jenrick tickle his tummy and just, or the other way around, whatever way you want it, but it was just disgusting propaganda. So yeah, I know that is it, I think, for me. Oh no, they talked about holidays in the week, didn't they? They appeared at Heathrow, Farage and Jenrick.
Making promises they can't commit to or keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're the double act of reform at the moment. Like Richard Tice is yesterday's man now. It's Farage and Jenrick all the way. So yeah,
how can that be the case if he's the boss and runs all of reform?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I put a post out when they announced we're going to be appearing live at Heathrow at 11 a.m. on whatever day it was this week. I was like, oh yeah, that would be Heathrow.
You and thousands of other people, and what?
Yeah, but Heathrow, the boss of Heathrow Holdings, donated £136,000 to reform in December, coincidentally. So,
which is why I thought it was a pertinent name in that list that we had before of the exploiting people.
Yes, very true, very true. But anyway, they went on to say, we're going to cut your summer holidays this year. And everyone went, no, you're not. What the fuck are you going to do about our summer holidays when you're not doing anything? You've got 7 MPs. But they kept bandying it about, we're going to cut your summer holidays by whatever it was, 12 quid. So
that's just such an insane thing to say.
Mm. But reform.
I mean, we're beyond scraping the bottom of the barrel now, aren't we?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally.
And I wouldn't mind in this entire time, they haven't come out with one solid policy.
No.
Not one.
Nothing. Every time they try and put one out, it gets shredded within like 10 minutes, and then they have to backtrack and make something else up to cover for the mess they've made. So, yeah.
They're such unserious people.
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. So, on that bombshell, I think we're probably...
Yeah, I think we're done.
There or thereabouts for this weekend.
For the week.
Yeah, so... Thank you so much for coming back to us and listening and watching. Join us and make sure you follow along when you visit whatever platform you're on. Like, share, subscribe, etc. Sorry, that nicked Sal's bit there. That's absolutely. What you should be saying.
No, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, so have a brilliant weekend. I'll get this edited hopefully this evening and hopefully out tomorrow morning. So, yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Bye.